As the title suggests, I genuinely believe that hostage scenario should be added to the meta of CSGO. And not only that, I think all of you listening to this should give hostage a look into. And if you have before, give it another look. You may be surprised at how enjoyable it can truly be. Now, what absurd idea is that? Thinking hostage should be treated as equal as bomb defusal? Are you out of your fucking mind? What's next? You think we should have professional players play hostage and treat it like a bomb map? Well, I think that would be a neat idea for professional players to play hostage. Hostage scenario is such a game-changing option to normal bomb defusal that it would be a welcome change. Hell, hostage would even be neat to watch at tournaments. Katowice or Berlin having hostage this year? That would have been neat as hell. Now, why am I saying this? Why am I proposing that we should even remotely consider hostage as a viable alternative to bomb defusal? Is this some idea I pulled straight out of my ass? Well, no. I have been tossing this idea around for quite a bit of time, thinking to myself that hostage could, and rightfully so, should be treated professionally. And I think I have credibility backing my thoughts up. I'm not some retarded-ass video maker who only desperately needs to get any original idea squeezed out of his fucking video games in order for his audience to be appeased. I have experience with my playings of hostage more than bomb defusal. Having gotten into CSGO about last year, when the game became free-to-play, I had a certain draw to hostage. At the beginning, I fucking hated it. Quite a bit, actually. That's because I didn't understand the beast known as hostage. And frankly, a lot of people really don't. And I don't blame them. Most people are in fact just accustomed to bomb the scenario, and that's just deemed the meta. Deemed as the game mode you're supposed to play because everyone else does it, so follow the crowd. Now, what are my reasonings behind thinking hostage should be given meta status? Simple. It flips Counter-Strike on its head. The normally attacking team is set to defense, and vice versa. Terrorists who are normally meant to force on the bomb sites are now flipped into hardened defenders that need to cover their objectives at all costs, and the counter-terrorists are flipped into ones that need to push through choke points using wits, utilities, and a game sense. To play hostage scenario gives you a sense of accomplishment too, especially if you're winning. Naturally, the game is T-sided, and a lot of people complain about that fact, but you're supposed to expect that. You need to crack into a dangerous area full of angry terrorists who will stop at nothing to help them with their objective, and to not only survive, but thrive in those games where you and your team can outsmart and outplay the enemy with the home court advantage. That right there feels very, very good. It feels so fucking right to mess someone's game up who was usually expected to win it just because they're on the T side. Hostage is also surprisingly a lot deeper than you'd expect. You would think that hostage is simply, hurt there, kill bad guys, take hostage and win. And while that may be the case if you boil the ever-loving shit out of hostage to its simplest form, it has a lot of nuances and intricacies that's very, very neat. One example would be how the game can be entirely flipped on its head if the CTs manage to reach a hostage. If you cannot nip the hostage rescuer in the butt immediately, you're in trouble. If that bastard isn't stopped, then the game becomes the CT's defending and the T's attacking, sometimes many times in a round. It can be very interesting to watch a game play out if it's a 1v1 and the CT has a hostage. The CT can go for the kill, try to make the T sweat with them not knowing their exact location, and try to fake out all sorts of ways to bait the T into running into a place that the CT isn't out of sheer desperation to stop them from saving them. Also, how the hostages are flipped can entirely flip the game on its head. Most maps of hostage have 3 or 4 quote-unquote good spots and 2 quote-unquote bad spots. What this means is how deep and easily accessible the hostages are for the CTs. For example, on Office, if you're a terrorist, you want your hostages to be deep in spawn. You do not want a side haul hostage. You don't want a long hostage because it forces the team to play entirely differently. It forces you to stretch out your defenses to an area that you don't always need to hold. And this can completely turn a T-sided game of hostage into a more CT-sided game, or even-sided game. And if the CTs can get a hold of a long hostage, it's almost always round over, unless the Ts can get a very few lucky fast kills in main. Similar to having a paper hostage as well, because the CTs don't have to go as deep into enemy territory, but it is still preferable to have a paper hostage than a long hostage because the CTs still have to break into your defenses. Some of the worst games of a hostage scenario is if the T's have a long hostage and a paper hostage. that can mean fucking catastrophes for the T's unless they have a great iron grip hold. The weapon meta is also greatly changed on hostage maps. Weapons you'd almost never see purchased suddenly become viable. The sawed-off is a very good shotgun, but outside of pretty much knifing range, it sucks. However, since terrorists have to guard sharp angles, shotguns become complete ass kickers, and the sawed-off is no exception. And a Gev also becomes viable. The cheap $1,700 machine gun becomes a pseudo-area denial weapon. With 150 bullets in the fabric container and 300 in reserve, it can stop pushes, delay time, and kill a lot of baddies fast. These two weapons are just only a couple examples. There's plenty of other weapons you can find purposes for. And change is good, especially when you want to get away from M4, AK, and AWP Central on bomb defusal maps. Dust. Mirage. I could rant about hostage all day. I really, really could. I love hostage maps and I love the concepts behind it. It's a healthy alternative that really does deserve more appreciation. The fact that there's only 2 hostage maps in rotation at the moment is just really sad. Office is one only because it's an official map, and Agency is there for, honestly, a reason I've yet to see. I love Hostage, and I personally don't even like Agency. But compared to other maps that are just bomb defusal is just a shame. I think Hostage should come back in rotation. Italy, Assault, Militia, they used to be in rotation years ago, but they're gone as of now, and that's quite a shame. Hostage has so much potential, and I'm leaving out so many other little things that I kind of feel dirty forgetting about it. But to hopefully convince you further into giving Hostage a proper look into, I will more than likely make a guide on how to play Office, one of my favorite maps in CSGO. Maybe some information on Office will help you see Hostage scenario in a new light, and not just that one map you accidentally left selected in the map pool and you said fuck it and queued for it. That's actually Agency, not Office. Please, be more respectful. Thank you.
What the fuck is this? Big B, the fluffy redneck. Holy fuck. Big B, the fluffy redneck. What the fuck? Who's coming to my house tonight? I got some guy walking in, just fucking smells like fish, talking shit. And I went to this month is the month for caring for your fellow men. There's no better time to send prayers to someone in need. Amen. Thank you very much. BBFFDNECK.